If you've ever been on a betting hot streak to the point where you're like, oh yeah, I could do this and quit my job, and then realized how moronic that statement is, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, folks. Welcome back. Happy Thursday. Welcome back to another episode of Live Trading. What do we got going on? I think we got some ex-girlfriends today. Let's go ahead and check it out.
Welcome to Benzinga Live Trading.
Let's see if this actually kind of comes back.
Way out of control, got way too high.
All right. Hey, I will take that. I will absolutely take that.
All right, folks, we are back. We're just going to start with this question. Carmen saying, what are we looking at today? AMSC or SMFL? What if I just said yes? What if I just said yes, Carmen? Let's go ahead and get started here. Bring on my main man, 1313. How are you today? How's your Thursday going?
Oh, it's going about as well as it can be without having a full, cup of coffee.
You haven't had.
So not bad.
I'm already 2 cups deep, man. I was up at 5 o'clock in the morning today. I'm 2 cups deep. I feel great. I'm ready to roll. Let's get this puppy going. That doesn't make any sense, but you know what I meant. So, all right. First things first, let's go ahead and mention that the stream is sponsored by Trade the Pool. So if you need help getting above the 25K day trading threshold or just need more dry powder, Trade the Pool is going to be your friend. Check them out. But the other thing, as you will see from the banner up top, is that they're doing a Learn the Pros playbook on June 3rd. So it's going to be an all-day stream, a lot of education. Link is in the description below. Be sure to check it out. Okay, 13. Let's talk about what is on deck for today and how we're going to attack the day here today. First thing that I want to do is I want to start with the SPY chart as usual. Okay.
What's so great about the SPY chart?
Well, I have a Palantir chart, so let me get the SPY chart up here first. There we go. Now, SPY chart here looks like we're kind of rolling over. There's nothing so great about it, but this is what we start with every day. We're just kind of rolling over here. Looks like it came down, tried to test that 20-day SMA. Looks like it did it quite fill this gap? Oh, almost filled the gap and then bounced. So really, we're actually outside this Thursday bar. Remember, the last couple of times we've looked at this, I've said this is really the bar that I want to see. So now we've broken lower, which is also what I wanted to see, but I want to see the signs of an accelerated breakdown. Now today, with the Salesforce earnings, UiPath earnings, some real bad earnings prints or bad trading action after the earnings prints on some of these names. We have the setup in the morning. Are we going to get the follow through in the actual market? You got any thoughts here on the SPY?
So after seeing 527 be a pretty significant resistance level all day yesterday, to the point where you could have just traded it, you could have gone short every time it went to 527. Now we're going beneath the former all-time high, which was 524.61. We're just trading beneath that now. So the thing that would be interesting to me is if we try to recapture that. I think that's what's going to be attempted here at first. Now the thing is that we could end up continuing to melt down a little bit into that into finishing that gap close and touching the 20-day SMA. So that's another possibility, but we are looking like it's going to start beneath that previous all-time high, which I've mentioned all week was the low end of the range we were trading in. So this is a breakdown or the beginning of one, as far as I can tell. But
yeah,
see more volume.
Yeah, I completely agree with every place that you're at there. And I think it's the start. The question is, will it accelerate? Will it continue? Really, kudos to you on that 527 yesterday. Let me get the correct chart up here. This is one of the things that you were sharing with our group later. 527, clearly the upside resistance. And you're right. As far as short-term day trades on the SPY, this was a printer, right? You were able to scalp off this 527. Looks like all day here, all day.
Well, so, if you go to lower timeframes, which we don't have to, but if you went to lower timeframes, you could see since the pre-market that was a level of rejection, and it just was the same way all day. It didn't spend very much time above 527, so you just had to be a little bit patient. Once it got up there, you went short every time. Every time you'd see that thing go down to about 526 or lower.
Yeah. Okay. Real good stuff there. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the morning movers here. I'm going to go ahead and go over to my movers tool, and we are going to start with SMFL. And I don't know if you consider this one of quote unquote, air quotes, the ex-girlfriends, but this one we've traded before here. This one pretty wild and looking to be wild again here today. So first things first, when we talk about some of these, let's start off with a warning. Please be careful on some of these. They can really kind of go against you pretty quick. They're volatile. They often go back and forth. So make sure that you have a plan that you can live with prior to even clicking the buy button. Now, as far as SMFL goes here, I didn't find any news for this. When we were talking about this morning in the pre-show fistfight, you had mentioned that this is probably some type of squeeze action here. You take a look at the short interest. Joe, this is up over 30% on the float shorted. Now, I know we only have 1 day to cover here, but we've got an average.
Big reason.
Say again?
Big reason for that.
Big reason for that. We've got an average volume of just under 1 million, and we have a float of 110,000 on this one.
Yep.
So let me ask you. Let me ask you. What are you thinking about this one? First of all, are you thinking about trading it? And perhaps more importantly, what are you looking to do with this?
Well, this just trade only. I mean, this would not be something I hold on to. I don't remember what this company does. But the news that they have, which wasn't today, but earlier this week, they had announced multiple times that their restructuring was complete. So apparently they are trying to get their act together. But they did do a reverse split 1-for-7 on the 22nd of April. So one of the reasons why their float is so low, 31.5% short interest, definitely going to be squeezing. We've already traded multiple times their float in the pre-market, and it's going to be trading out of that even more today. So this one is going to be, take extra caution with this one. The float's so low that we could easily get killed in this one if we hold too long, or we could, make a whole ton. I mean, this thing could go all different directions very, very quickly. So just be very careful with this one. If you see the setup and the setup looks good, and it's and you're well protected, you have your stops ready, this could be a great one. But understand how low the float is, and that this could be also very dangerous.
Yeah, no question about it. When we traded this one before, we saw this swing all over the place. Really good stuff here. Keep in mind, just a couple of the data points to mention there, reiterate, if you will. On average, trades just under 1 million shares today before the market even opens. In the pre-market, only 10 million shares. So with the float getting rotated that much, I look for that to actually step up when the market opens here. So SMFL. Okay, real quickly, I'm going to try and bookmark this one. Jay Rice, good morning. Hope you're doing well. By the way, do you have any type of relative that lives out in Illinois? Because I did play golf with a guy that reminded me a lot of you this weekend. And he was pretty good on the course too, by the way. But this part here, I want to have a larger discussion about this. CRM, INTU workday. The theme here is that biz is slowing software spending to shift to AI spending. I have a couple of thoughts on this. And with a couple of these reporting earnings recently, I think that this is topical. I do want to come back to this, Jay, but really quickly, let me just finish off some of these junkier names, and we'll get to the companies that are actually pretty good here. Okay, yeah. I think that you're onto something here, and I think that there's something that the group can benefit from with this discussion. Okay, so we'll do that here shortly. Don't worry. Yeah, and SML, low float squeeze, bingo. That is exactly it. So we're going to see if we can try and catch that. Now, the next one here is going to be ONMD. This is actually one that we've been trading recently, but we have another piece of news here driving it today. OneMedNet shares are trading higher after the company announced that it has entered into a non-exclusive 3-year master service agreement with an undisclosed U.S.-based medical technology company. This came in the after hours yesterday. You can see this popped us above 3. We actually tested going above 3 in the pre-market. We were not able to hold above it, but we have not broken down yet. So let's see if we get good volume or a volume expansion in the regular session across through VWAP on volume would probably send this to a 3 test. And then your levels right above that, very clearly defined, 310, 320, 321 right in there. So ONMD, I look for this one to get rolling here today. If this pulls back out of the gate, I'm going to be completely hands off for at least an hour. Because one of the things that I've noticed that I've done recently in some of these trades that's caused me to take a small loss on them is that when it has its initial impulse move and it's coming back in, I try to play a bounce spot that doesn't really have any type of juice. So I think then that the way to adjust to this is to wait for some of that selling volume to be exhausted so that the stock has a higher propensity to bounce. One of the things that I can do is just simply wait that out. Wait the impatient sellers out. Be part of the patient. Be patient or you'll be one.
Stay patient, or you'll be one. Yep.
What do you have on ONMD?
Yeah, they had. You mentioned a 3-year agreement. They have just about a 12 million share float, so this is going to be easier to move around. Probably not as easy as SFML, but easy nonetheless. The levels that I have for this one, it looks like 220 is the support level based on the price action from yesterday. Got up to there intraday trading, and then came back in to find support at 195 before the news broke, and we took out that level. So I'm looking at to 220. For support if we go to the downside. Now, as far as upside goes, looks like I could start with 285 as being the level that we need to get up and above to see more upside, and that's right around the area that I have VWAP. So that's going to be an important level to watch as we open into the regular session here. If we get through that, then I'm going to want to see the after hours high, which was 320, get taken out, and then we can start talking about levels above that.
Okay. Real good stuff there, ONMD. Let's move to the next one here, and this one is Fang, Feng. Phoenix New Media. This is an ADR. This has got China all over it. To me, I am probably just going to straight up stay away from this. Floats 11 million, average volume's 80,000. Today it's traded just under a million at about 900,000 shares. If you want me to give you an overview on what this actually does, Phoenix New Media is a media company providing premium content on integrated platforms across the internet, mobile TV, and channels in China. So there you go. To me, look, this is moving here. We've seen a lot of these Chinese names really kind of be volatile, but have extreme moves that really can't be explained. I'll be honest, given the slate of things that we have here today, I'll probably look for something a little bit easier to trade. I hesitate to use that word because it might not actually be easier, but I'm going to be looking for something else. Do you have anything on Fang here?
I didn't cover this one, but it says that they have an 11.2 million share float. Don't really see any short interest of any significance. The balance sheet looks weird, and I think that's because it might not be adjusted to U.S. dollars. It's probably just RMB or yuan or whatever whatever currency that particular company's going off of. But I'm not sure about this one. I'm probably just going to stay away from it. I think there's better options to trade.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see if this gives a trade setup. I don't know. I'm just thinking I might prioritize this a little bit lower.
Yeah, and keep it on our radar just to to see if there's anything that sets up. But I'm not going to be keeping an eye on this one. Yeah,
absolutely. Okay. Good stuff there again. AI here, ticker AI. This is, of course, C3 AI. We have often talked about this being, maybe one of the pretender AI stocks. Not great despite having really good performance and trading really, really well with AI headlines. C3 AI shares trading higher following strong Q4 earnings here. Looks like we actually double topped. This would be, as far as new trades here today, this is going to be one of the things that I'm looking at here. Let's just call it 2750. This was the high of the impulse move in the after hours yesterday and the exact same high in the pre-market today. We were really unable to break it. We pulled back here to a consolidation area. So I'm not, there's nothing in the chart that's telling me that this is going to pull back and give back all of its gains. But that upside target here of about 2750 is what I'm looking for. No position here in AI. I know we have a number of traders in here that have traded this one before. Generally has pretty good volume. It's pretty liquid. So maybe this will give us an opportunity. But what do you got here on ticker AI?
Following earnings and pretty good guidance, this one does have a 95 million share float with a 36.1% short interest and 7.98. So let's call it 8 days to cover. This would be something to keep an eye on, just because that high short interest could end up squeezing as we get closer to the open or sometime intraday. I don't think that we're quite done with this one yet. I'm just going to be watching for some levels, and one of the levels that I'm going to be watching for is going to be about 250 we'll call it 260, whatever this little drop down in the candle is here. But back in as the pre-market got underway at 4 a.m. That dropped down to about, it's like 25.67 would be the first level of support I'll be looking for. We lose that, then I'd be looking at 24.50. And that's about as far as I'm going to go in terms of risk. Because if we go lower than that, then we're talking, lower than yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, really good stuff there. Appreciate it with the downside targets there too. I think that might actually be in play here today. If you take a look at the daily formation here, especially with that high short interest that you just talked about, 13, if we pop above, this is actually going to look pretty enticing on a daily chart, and it's gonna there are some other levels here that are pretty clearly defined right above it, and there's several points above it. So maybe we do get a trade there if we take out that 27.50. Just keep it on watch. Like I said, number of decent stocks that we can actually trade here today. ASTS, this is one from yesterday, has had a huge move. This is the stock. I'm super proud of our group, because you said prior to us going on, I think that this is going to be the stock of the day. It was the stock of the day, and it's actually doing a really good job holding higher. Jay, I know earlier today you were hoping for let me get exactly what you said, because I don't want to misquote you. Hoping for a red opening. We didn't get that. Now, that's not to say that this isn't going to go red today. Okay, it very well might, but we didn't get it yet. So we're going to give it some respect here. This could go in either direction today. My strategy here on this, personally, I wait this out. Let it tell you. Let it confirm which direction it's going to go instead of front running it. Front running it has gotten me stopped out of a lot of trades recently. And even though they're small, they add up, and I'd rather just not do that. So we'll see here. Yes, you got anything on this one, 13?
Let's give a shout out to Smoked Tuna, because yesterday he said this could end up going to 10, and it did, just not in the regular session. If you look at the after hours, we hit 10:30. So I think that deserves a register ring, round of applause, whatever you want to give him. I think that he absolutely nailed that. So that also gave me confidence about how this could end up going up further. We did get some pullback, which we need to see in order to go higher, and keep talking about that in the broader market all the time. And that came right back down almost to VWAP in the 65 EMA on the 5-minute before it went up. So that was really good trading. Now it could end up going back up to 10, but I'm not sure how much strength this is going to have today. Probably going to see some relative volume, but I don't think there's any new headlines coming out with this one, as far as I can tell. I didn't do the coverage on this one because we had already traded this one yesterday. So just keep it on your radar. There are some levels of support at about 850, 845 that I would be paying attention to based on yesterday's price action. That was a big resistance level to get over. So that would be the resistance turn support level I'm going to be keeping an eye on, around 850 there.
No problem on you not having coverage. Smoked Tuna initiating coverage here today, giving the stock a buy rating or maybe a hold rating with a possible price target of 10. Of course, just joking around here. Smoked Tuna did say this could see 10 today. Guess what? We actually already did that here in the pre-market. We did kind of make this on double top here at 10:30. Let's see where ASTS goes. Story's not over yet here, ASTS. Okay, the other thing that I really quickly wanted to mention is Palantir, just because we talk about this one a whole lot. It's not really going crazy here today, but this is the last one on the list. Palantir shares trading higher after the company was awarded a $480 million Army contract for the Maven smart system prototype. I don't know what that prototype is. The $480 million, probably not huge for a military contract. They can get much bigger than that. I also don't know the time frame of this contract. However, this is good news. This is exactly what we want to see. And if you're a long-term Palantir bull, like there seems to be a lot of, I consider myself in that camp despite not having a current position, we want to see stuff like this. So I know, 13, we were talking about adding this under 20, maybe in the mid-teens. Here we are popping back above 21. You think we get back down there?
When I look at a daily chart, it still seems like that's entirely possible. The big support that it has right now is somewhere around 225 to 230. There's a peak on August 1st from 2023 that also lines up with how the price has been finding support since April, right about those same levels. So if you want to go to a daily chart, you could see
right here
at 2030 seems to be about, or 2025, 2030 seems to be about where that support is. So if you draw a line going all the way across back to August of 2023, you can see how those points line up with that support level.
Yeah. Okay. Really good stuff there. Palantir, that's going to do your morning movers. Okay. Let me get back to Jay's comment here because I think that this is a good one. We got 5 minutes here. We'll take some more stocks if you want, but I really do want to start having this discussion because this can be for more than just day trading. This could also be for investment, swing trading, really any type of time horizon that you might have on some of these. So here's the initial comment, just to kind of remind you here. CRM, INTU, which is Intuit, and WDay, which is Workday. I guess I would ask, Jay, would you throw now in there? Would you throw service now in there? Just a question. Biz, slowing software spending to shift to AI spending. So first thing that I want to say here is, let's just assume off the top that this is true. Let's just assume that this is exactly what's happening. To me, it seems that the way to kind of handle this is to look into the companies that are developing or already have actual productive, helpful AI tools. What I mean by that are not like these pie in the sky dreams of this is what's, do we project that this is going to happen and blah, blah, blah. No. What kind of tools can you use today, right now? That can actually help you in business. I think that those are probably going to be the stocks that are going to trade the best. I mean, NVIDIA is the obvious one, right? That we're talking about hardware at that point instead of software. That's an easy one. But some of these other ones, some of these other companies, especially ones that are really well run, you know, what are they going to do to shift? How are they going to change their business plan? How are they going to increase their margins? How are they going to add revenue streams? I think that's a longer term discussion that we can have as a group. Do you have any thoughts on that one?
Well, I mean, no, I think that what you're pitching here is exactly what the kind of conversations we need to have, because this is going to, you know, not just give us an idea of what's happening today, but what's going to be happening tomorrow or the next week or the next month. So, you know, have that kind of runway of knowledge gives you an opportunity to make better decisions in your longer term investments.
Okay. Now, UiPath, one of them, a couple of comments here real quick. Carmen is saying, yeah, that's why I'm so optimistic about IBM. Carmen, you believe IBM are going to have actual AI products that are helpful and have good use case. Thus, you're bullish about the business there. Business to business is already underway. Would agree with that too. Jay, I'd ask what your thought is on this. You're the one that kind of brought this up in the first place. You have any thoughts on what might be some of the leaders here in AI software or stocks that you would like to watch based on what we were just talking about here? One of the other things you mentioned is Path had 5 downgrades here today. So here's the thing. Here is Path real quick. And I know we're about 2 minutes till we open here. I'll keep my eye on the clock. Here's Path. This is nasty, right? This is nasty. You can see this actually traded all the way. This gave all of its gains from the past 2 years back, right? Everything from 2024 and everything that it made over 2023. We just gave it back in a night last night. And this to me actually looks really rough. I mean, this could potentially break down further. They're trading lower after the company reported Q1 earnings, issued weak guidance, and announced a CEO transition. No good here. This was often considered an AI name. So just because stuff is moving into AI spending, it doesn't mean all AI names are going to win. We've been talking about that for a while too. This one appears to be in real big trouble.
Also, yeah. So the thing about that whole CEO ordeal, that person was actually co-CEO since April of 22 with another person. You know, let me get the names here. Anyway, it was Jun Yang, and this is the person that we're talking about. Rob Enslin was the CEO that just resigned. So he and Jun Yang were co-CEOs since April of 22. He became the sole CEO in this year in February, and now just after a few months, he's thrown in the towel. That's not good at all.
Not at all.
Good at all.
Not at all. And to your point here, founder Daniel Dines to be reappointed as the CEO. So basically this new CEO that they brought in that threw in the towel, as you say, they had to go back to the founder to get that corrected. No bueno.
And the other thing with CRM that I noticed immediately when I was looking at that is that this is the first sales miss that they have had in 11 years.
Let me show that.
Yeah, that was actually crazy. And I think, you know, when you have a company that's just constantly beating, and then you see that, you're going to get sell-offs like they had. And this is in an environment We're open, by the way.
Yeah, no, I know. I was just going to say we're open real quick. This is what 13 is talking about. He's looking at the courtesy of Benzinga Pro. This is how you can actually use this tool. Looking at the surprise EPS and the surprise revenue. We'll take a look at this. Look how far back. Here it is. And you were even saying yesterday, the same quarter 11 years ago was when they missed like this. 11 years ago.
Yep.
Wild stuff. All right, let's go ahead and go back over to the scanner. We're going to flip over to Trade the Pool and start executing some trades here. In fact, let me just get over to the. Oh, you know what? I didn't even share it. Give me 1 sec here, and I will fix my screens.
Looks like Jay's going to get his push. So far, ASTS is showing a little bit of weakness out of the gate, but not going down. Just kind of looking weak.
Remember. Yesterday we saw that exact thing happen. Right, it dipped out of the open after being strong in the pre-market, and then absolutely ripped. Watch for that again. ASTS.
So just look and see what these other ones are doing. AI is trying to push up through VWAP. ONMD is also trying to do the same, but that's facing some rejection. Smart for Life. This looks like it wants to get above 765, 760, where there's some pretty big sell wall. Maybe choose through it here. It's trying to attack it right now, and it's getting rejected. What else? AI pushed through and it's going. Pre-market high is 2748, 2750. I think we were talking about that earlier. So 2750. Let's see what that looks like on here.
2750. This is ticker AI. Yes, that's the exact level.
And it looks like there is there are a bunch of sell orders there, but not a huge wall. So that could get broken through if the volume keeps up. And this is remember a little bit heavier float. So this is not going to be as easy to push around as like ASTS is.
Hey, 13, check this out real quick.
What's that?
Here's the insider report, again, courtesy of Benzinga Pro for Salesforce. What do you see right here at the top?
Sells.
By Mark Benioff, right ahead of the earnings. Literally 28, 29.
That was another thing that I put in that synopsis at the end, is that he did sell 50,000 or 15,000 shares following that earnings report. Not that he sold it right after the earnings report, but that
sold it ahead of earnings. Took those gains off before it dropped. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Just wanted to notice that here we go. AI through that level. Literally, as we were talking, AI punching through that level. Let me take a look around here. SMFL looks like this is going lower.
Yep.
Dell, by the way, really quickly here on Dell. Dell reports earnings tonight. Let me make sure I'm getting that right. I'm almost certain that. Okay, perfect. They're reporting earnings tonight. They have run considerably into this print. I'm nervous about this. Looks like the market is nervous about this too, pulling back a little bit here right out of the open. Ticker DELL.
So we talked about this one yesterday too, and how this RSI was just absolutely absurd. Yesterday before, when we closed, the RSI was about almost 83. And now it's down to 76. So there definitely needed to be some cooling off here in this one. It's still extended at this point too. So trade this how you will. I think that the big play was to buy it as early as yesterday. You did fine if you did. If you're still holding it, you might not be doing as well. So maybe make some considerations for what you want to do with this, because this is very extended up here.
Yeah, indeed. BBAI, this is trading up here. Felipe, looks like kind of low volume there. I know a couple of you, Nick and Crow, you were talking about Wolf. Jay, good thought here. Wolf might be getting helped out by Chewy. Chewy finally, Chewy had just an absolute monster beat. And look at this. Here we go. Another move higher. So we're taking another leg higher here. Chewy really, really good. Continuing to go here. And I got to say, this is all because I just placed a huge Chewy order that was delivered yesterday. So anyone that's long, you can thank me for this, clearly. And sarcasm. Okay, sweet.
Jay Rice got his wish.
Yeah, I'm sorry?
Jay Rice got his wish.
Did ASTS go red?
Yes, it did. And I think it could see a bounce pretty soon. We might find some support here.
So what did I just say? What did I just say about my own trading prior to opening here? I'm not going to try and trade these early bounce spots. Yesterday, I probably would have tried to trade this. Today, I'm going to pass on it. I'm going to wait for a little bit better setup after we shake out some of the selling.
All right. Yeah, because it's Seems like the names that we were looking at are pretty much red, except for AI.
ONMD here. This is definitely worth watching as this is moving through the VWAP here. That VWAP at 284 looks like a 3 test is coming up here.
3 has a huge wall. We get enough volume, we'll chew right through that, but the volume isn't looking like it's enough at the moment. Just need to see some expansion and we'll get through it. Now it's starting to chew through it, and it's through.
RRGB being mentioned here. That's Red Robin Gourmet Burgers. That's moving higher. I don't think I've ever traded this. But okay, let me go back to ONMD. That was a really good one here, right through 3. KTRA, this penny stock here. I can't believe this. We were alerted to this at 11 cents in the happy hour, and I was like, I don't know. Here we are, 40 cents KTRA. It was a great call. I hope he comes back because I definitely want to give him his flowers for that call. Gave it to the entire group. Gave it to the entire group long before this big move here. ONMD continuing. Let's see if it can actually get through 3 on a second attempt here. 305, your high.
And first stop is going to be 310 and then 320, because 310 was the pre-market high and the after-hours high yesterday was 320. So that range right there, 310 to 320, might see some pushback on that one.
ASTS trying to bounce right here. This was actually the top end of a consolidation area from yesterday. We'll see if that materializes. Looks like it's actually going lower. See, we're going to learn our lessons from getting slapped around. Wall at 310 on ONMD. Looks like it sent it lower. Not strong enough to get through it yet, but this isn't over yet.
Yeah, so if ASTS doesn't find a spot to bounce here, which is where the consolidation was from yesterday, then this is probably going to have to be something that comes back later, because it's getting pushed down a lot by all these massive sell orders just continuing to go lower and lower. But yeah, we'll see what happens.
Momentous. This is another penny stock here right at the VWAP. Let's see if this blasts through here. Momentous.
SMFL looks like it's trying to turn around, or at least get slow down the selling. It's finding the same level of support that the
I'm sorry, which ticker? Which ticker?
This is SMFL. It's down at this support area that, or close to it, that it's the pre-market trading was getting support at around 650. So looking to see if 650 holds up. ONMD still trying to make its way through 310. It looks like it's about to get it. AI is kind of going sideways now after popping up to 27.93.
JagX, that's a penny, right? No, JagX, I'm sorry, that reverse split. Boy, gosh, that is really kind of coming in here. Looks like it is curling up here today. I'm nervous about this one, though, With good luck. HLTH, that's a penny stock. That's like 10 cents, isn't it? Yeah, 5 cents yesterday, 12 cents here today. That's why it's appearing on the list. I'm going to pass on that. Ticker, yep, go ahead.
If JagX can bust out through 5 and hold above there, it looks like it could end up getting to the after-hours high of 5 to 44. It really needs the volume, but the MACD looks like it does want to try to get up there. So not sure if that's going to happen.
ONMD at a resistance area right here. So
here we go.
Then right through it, 5 cents, right through it, ONMD. Robert asking, Ryan, do you know where Benzinga gets its PE info and when they update the info? Yes, I do. They get it like much of the brokers get it. They get it from the same place, Morningstar, which is a data service provider for a lot of this financial data points. And I believe this, I'm not 100% sure, and I'd have to double check this, but I believe the pull is daily, right? So they pull new data from Morningstar every morning. Hope that helps.
AI coming down.
So one of the patterns that I'm seeing here with ONMD so far is it does hit these levels, and we've identified almost all of these levels correctly so far. It comes back in, and if it doesn't break down, it makes another attempt at those levels. That might be something that we can actually trade around. We'll see. Here's Lucy from yesterday. This actually is a girl's name, so this really fits the ex-girlfriend billing even better than some of the other ones. Lucy is back. She just can't get enough. ONMD, we're still kind of slowing down here. I still don't think this is done. Let's take a look at some of those bigger stocks here, like Salesforce. Wow, this actually moved lower after that. Wow. So let's talk about some of the levels that we had on Salesforce, because here's the thing: tough to bet against Mark Benioff. The dude just wins. He knows how to win. Talked a lot about CEOs making a huge difference. Come on.
Remember the 220 level I was telling you about with the moving averages?
Yep.
On the weekly and the monthly? Well, feast your eyes.
Here you go. So yesterday when this report was coming out in happy hour, we were breaking it down. We actually have a couple of Salesforce bulls in there, people that actually really like the company. We had a great discussion about this, and it does look like this is a potential opportunity to play a bounce. This down here at the 200-day, you know how I like to play, or 200-week in this case, you know how I like to play these. I want to see closes above these levels. I don't just want to buy it right now because we tested it. Let's see if we can close above this level. Better still if we can do that 3 times in a row, or if we can dip beneath it and then reclaim it. That would also be quite bullish. This is one of the levels that 13 had identified yesterday. We went right to it today.
So I'd like to see 220 provide support, and if we can at least close above that level today, then we might see a bounce tomorrow.
For me, 13, I'll give you the best possible scenario: a trade down to like 219, maybe even 218, and then buying volume, stepping in and closing it above 220. If we get that, I think we bounce. I think that is a tradable bounce setup based on the intraday here. CRM. Let me go back to trade the pool. Okay. And actually, yeah, I mean, this could bounce. I don't know if it's going to do it today, but definitely one to watch. ASTS looks like it's trying to bounce off that $8 level. ASTS.
Yeah, it came down to 780. Just went slightly under 8. Looks like it's trying to make its way back up through that consolidation from yesterday.
Good morning, team. Gil, I gotta say, we did not use enough O's in this one. I love where the energy's at, but I'm gonna need you to add some more O's in there. Just kidding. It is great to see you here this morning. Again, don't forget, learn from the pros playbook. All day, free stream, helping you out.
Let's see. It looks like AI is just gave back everything in pre-market too.
Nice. Gil, I love it, Gil. I absolutely love it. Great to see you here this morning. Wisdom, good morning. Great to see you again as well. Jay Rice, scalping ASTS. You love to see it. Way to go. EKS mentioning that ticker SSYS is up 7% here today. Let me tell you something. This was a trade that I took pretty small, and I just botched it, right? I should have stopped out on it. I was like, no, this is probably going to get bought out. The tech here is real good. I like this. Smart people I know likes this. I've watched this for a while. I'm going to be okay. And sure enough, it just kept trading down and down and down. And look at this daily chart. I mean, this is an awful daily chart. This is just awful. They reported earnings. They're up 7% here today. Great. Let's go up 70%. Then we can start getting excited. SSYS, this is a trade I'm underwater on. Hopefully we get bailed out of this eventually. ONMD, we go higher, 330-year high print now.
Okay, let me start looking at some other levels here because we're about to go through all of them. And I have a ton of levels here because we've started trading this back when it was, just coming out of the sub $1 range. Now we're in the 3 handle. So what I can see right now is that we're coming up to a 200 EMA on the daily chart. We could see some resistance from that. And there's a lot of consolidation to burn through on its way to 450. So
Kava moving higher here.
450 would be the next upside target I would have if we can start to chew our way through the 3 handle. And you said Kava?
I mean, look, we've been talking about this one. It feels like it's too high. It feels like it's wisdomed. It feels like it's just too high here and really due for kind of a pullback. Love you.
Well, I think this is all just this all squeezing, because it doesn't fundamentally make any sense for it to be up this high. We looked at the forward PE ratio, and I don't think that this is going to be around from the 333 years.
HIMS, by the way, another strong day here today. The thing that's interesting about HIMS here is that this chart was literally flashing a potential breakout signal for a few days here. Let me go ahead and show you on the daily real quick. Here you go. Look at this. This formation, gosh, is that juicy. This is actually, it's not quite the island, but this is the type of action. Impulse move, back testing, bottom end of the range, break the highs on the move back up. Just HIMS, this is good. This is on the backs of the weight loss drugs, GLP, Ozempic type stuff. HIMS been a big performer here. I just don't want to chase it, but go ahead. Sorry.
That's a great point that Jay Rice brought up about when buying dips, not to not to use the round number weight for it, get in below it. So when he's talking about ASTS going under 8, that was the time to buy the dip. And if you look at the price action, you were rewarded. You got, if you went under 8, you got at least 54 cents on the upside of 8, and plus whatever else you got it at under 8.
So I completely agree with Jay on this. Completely agree with this. We talk all the time about the round number phenomenon being a where people put their orders. You guys see me do it. I do it all the time. My OCD literally controls me, and I do it all of the time. However, if you can realize that you can do exactly what Jay is talking about right here, and you can actually use that to your advantage, and if you're scalping, this becomes even more important, because if you're only selling 20 cents worth of profit, you get an extra 3-4 cents on there. It's pretty good. That's a decent percentage. If you're swing trading and you're looking for 40 points, 20 cents might not matter a whole lot. This is a really good theory. I've seen this before. I use this myself in some cases when I'm trying to really get some good entry. And this is an incredible strategy to add to your scalping.
So it looks like ASTS is going to at least try to get back up to its VWAP, but to me it seems like this is putting in a bit of a bear flag.
Yeah, it seems like that to me too, actually.
So be careful with ASTS. This looks like it's going lower.
Caddyshack mentioning that Mara is spiking. Bitcoin, what's Bitcoin? Bitcoin is also spiking at the same time. These look like they're going together. I bet Coin's looking good today too.
What happened was Bitcoin was, I saw it earlier this morning when it was getting up to about slightly over 68,000. It was coming up to a breakout point, and this is what we're seeing now. Let's see if it can run all the way up to 69,000. It's not too far away. I think it could do that.
AI pulling back right here, went right to that resistance area that we talked about, pulled back here towards 26, didn't really break out. Not over yet, though. Let's see if that can kind of materialize here. Burlington Stores, this actually moving higher here off that earnings beat.
We did get GDP this morning, and it showed that we were underneath the estimate. It was a 1.3% growth versus 1.6% estimated. So this is continuing to make the case that the consumers are weakening. We see that with some of these stocks that are missing their marks, that rely on the consumer for sales. I'm going to be really interested to see what PCE has for us tomorrow. But it looks like the restrictive policy in the Fed is doing its job. Also, Redfin reported that 6.4% of their home sellers had cut prices, their asking price for 4 weeks ended May 26th. So that's a big deal.
Saw that this morning here. Also, really quickly, just to kind of round out that really good news drop that 13's given you, we also got initial jobless claims, 219 versus the 218 estimate. Prior reading was 216 on that. So that's your economic numbers there. It'll be interesting to see if Felicia has anything to say about that Redfin print.
I'm looking forward to it, and I had another thought, but I'm looking forward to that. Just let's see, you had mentioned the jobless claims being higher than expected. I had another thought. Anyway, it'll come back to me.
All good. Foot Locker here trading higher. Lion Atlas saying he saw news this morning that China is buying oil and gold and are ready.
Oh, they've been doing that.
Yeah, they've been doing that for, I was just going to say, they've been doing that for a long time. I know there's going to be a lot of headlines about Taiwan. I got to think that's going to be the last big mistake China ever makes if they do something like that.
And they make a lot of them. But they have been buying a ton of gold. The whole thing with buying a bunch of gold is part of the effort for de-dollarization. They've also been selling a whole bunch of their treasuries. That's their hedge right now against the dollar. Is trying to make theirs more important for global trade. But with the
real
country
quickly,
that it's not likely. Sorry, go ahead.
No, all good. Real quickly, a stock that we talk about all the time, Tyson went ex-dividend today, trading lower here.
Yeah.
Might have a bounce setting up here on Tyson.
That was one of the points I was making about Tyson. I think yesterday. I think they go ex-dividend tomorrow. I think though. Did it say today?
Well, let me check Pro because I think this is Thinkorswim. Let me see. Ex-dividend or dividend 49 cents on 530. Let me just check Pro here. I actually get more, it's easier for me to understand all of the dividend stuff in Pro than it is for my broker. So let me just check this out here, 13.
Okay. But anyway, as far as Tyson goes, oh, by the way, AI is recovering. It's back up to VWAP. But as far as Tyson goes, the support level I'm looking for in this one for the downside is at 55.73. That's a specific level because that is the 2016 low when they had a huge earnings miss and their CEO was fired. So that's going to be a support level. It has been working for me before. And yes, it is bullish for gold and oil.
Yeah, and I do have that. I have the X date as 531. So apologies on that one. I'll have the news desk check that out here real quick as well.
Well, it seems like the Benzinga has it right because it says their ex-div date is tomorrow.
Yeah. Like I said, easier to see in BZ. ONMD so far holding above its VWAP, which also coincides with that round 3 number. Let's see if ONMD can push. 13 can, I'm going to step away for just 1 sec. You got this?
Sounds good, man. Atlas is buying more Newmont. The Verb is going to go. Let's bring up Verb here and take a look at that. I'm going to see what's going. I mean, if we get the volume, it looks like it could have a pretty good setup from coming off the bottom here. But this is a penny stock, so usually when it comes to penny stock, I'm not too enthusiastic about them because when it goes under $1, then shorts love to jump in and push it down and try to delist it. So that's one of the big risks. Penny stocks that make them a little less appealing to. But by all means, trade it if you can get the setup in there and you can get profit out of it. Don't let me deter you, but that's what I. SFIE, let's go. Is that moving now? I think they just had earnings recently, didn't they? Oh, look at that! It's moving up. On consolidation. If I can get some news on what's going on. It was earnings. I want to try to help me out there with that, Nicholas. That's what it was. Oh, no, it's not earnings.
All right. Sorry about that.
We're just trying to figure out what's moving Faraday Future right now. It's had some pretty good movement today.
Probably just Mo, right? I mean, that's.
I thought there was earnings, but I was wrong. I thought there, so I'm not sure. Maybe
it just had earnings. I thought fairly recently. I think this is just kind of the Mo players playing some of the pennies. This was a recent big mover there.
And Lion Atlas saying the Mosaic company is a great buy at this level. Let me see what he's saying here about Mosaic. So I have interestingly, I have a level here marked off. I don't know when I put this in, but it's for $30. And it seems like we slightly went beneath that to, what is this? 27.83, and then came back above $30. So $30 definitely a support. You probably are right, Lion Atlas. This looks like a great place to get in here because we got some confirmation. Look at FFIE go. Woo! Sorry.
Woo! Are we at halt potential here? It has not halted yet, but I think we're getting close there.
It will soon. Sorry about the audio. Let me know if it breaks up again, Becca.
Tesla actually ripping to the highs here as well. FFIE looks like it's slowing down there, maybe not going to halt.
AI through VWAP, trying to get hold above it, but it's got pre-market consolidation to chew through it up here. Look at these other names. ONMD coming back down to that 285 support level, and we're just trading slightly beneath it. I think that if we do continue to go lower, 270 might be a better level. Smart for Life coming down to another support level. I have 570 as the next support for Smart for Life. ASTS.
Smart for Life, multiple VWAP projections already. I'd be careful with this one. that something needs to change in SMFL.
Yeah, that's why I think that
bullish,
that support at 570 around that, or maybe even 550. I think in that range is where it needs to turn around. Otherwise, this is probably going to end up in the beneath the 5 handle. ASTS, great recovery, turning around. It hit a low of 780. Now it's coming back up. We're testing VWAP right now, and we could push through it. There is a bit of size to get through at 880 and 883. But we get through those, then it's looking pretty good up until 9.
ASTS has used this VWAP as resistance, so getting through this would be a change as well. And one of the things that you'll notice here is that the volume, although it is declining, it has changed from selling exhaustion to buying volume. Part of me wonders if this is just people taking gains on the trade overnight.
Probably. I still think that this bear flag is very much in play, though. So if they're going to reject it, would be at VWAP, I would imagine. We'll have to wait and see what happens. I mean, if I'm going to jump into this for another trade, I'd have to get some confirmation that we're going to definitely move above VWAP, because I don't know if I'd want to get it right here, right now.
Right here. I was going to start singing, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that.
Smash a like if you want to see Ryan sing.
No. Well, smash the like, but look, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. The last thing I'm going to do is start singing some Daylor Mendy songs out here too. Wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be something to see?
That would. Sorry to hold you hostage there with the likes, but I thought it'd be funny.
Yeah, no, it's all good. It is all good.
Look at this slow grind.
Becca says, "Me too." And "me too" is in you don't want to see that, right, Becca? That's what I read from that. Or were you saying "me too" that you're going to sing Indian songs? Let me know what that was about.
Here's your verb movement that you guys are talking about. We just got up to
verb. Didn't even look at that yet here today.
Well, they were mentioning
Born to be free. Good morning. Rick saying, Ryan, karaoke and beer. Rick, you would stop liking me if we did that.
We're probably not going to get him to sing with likes, but if you start subscribing to Pro, then he might.
Verb back to the VWAP, this penny stock here.
I mean,
KTRA pulled back from its highs.
I explained why I don't trade stocks like Verb. I mean, I have before. I might even do it again if the setup looks good enough or if I like the company. But typically when I just hear about penny stocks that are moving, I'm just like, okay, well, get that money. Looks like all these names that we were talking about are just not doing great at the moment. I mean, AI might still be okay, but it's having trouble getting above VWAP.
Chris here asking, Ryan, you talked about oil a little bit ago. What do you think of Fang on a swing? Okay, so Fang, now this is different than Fang, which is Feng that we saw earlier. This is Fang. This is Diamondback Energy. You know what? This is actually not one that I follow. I don't have charts ready for this one. I would want to see how tied into. I'd have to consult some of the notes that I've made on data centers. If this has a potential data center angle, I like this. Frankly, I'd like this to come in a little bit more from where it's at here. If you want to take a look at an easier to see daily chart, I actually like this to kind of come in a little bit more. And then maybe kind of play it for a bounce. RSI is kind of in no man's land right here. So as far as like a multi-day move, I'd actually like this to set up a little bit better. I think this is one of the better names, though. Sorry.
Look, I think this is set up great. I mean, if you switch to a weekly chart, you can see that we're putting in a bit of a bull flag formation here. So this looks like this could be a good one.
Yeah, but even so, even on this, wouldn't you want this to come in a little bit more? 186,
yes,
maybe. Okay,
but I don't know that we'll get that.
Yeah, I don't either.
It looks like it's going to make another upside move, especially on the weekly. That looks like that could be the case. Now, how high? Don't really know, but it looks like it might be a good swing trade here. That's just going off the technicals. I don't know what fundamental catalyst this thing has in the pipeline, but I get it. But this, as far as your thought on the data center and chip fab, we're seeing some of these chip fabs in Arizona rely on gas to to power, to power those data centers.
Yeah, Chris here also adding. They just had a major acquisition in the Permian Basin.
Yeah.
Voodoo, didn't Anne Marie have an iron condor or a butterfly trade set up on Fang a couple weeks ago, going out into July? I'd have to look through the notes. That's possible. I don't know off the top of my head, Voodoo. I'm sorry. I should know that too. I should have that committed to memory. Okay. It is 10 o'clock here, and it is a Thursday, so you know what that means, don't you, folks? Maybe you don't, but we're going to start making it a habit. It is time for our special guest, Fausto. Fausto, how you doing today?
I'm doing excellent. Thanks for having me. How you doing? How's it going, Ryan? Hey, 13.
How you doing?
We're doing pretty good here today. I'm actually, I don't know how great I'm doing. I'm on no day trades yet today. I haven't made a single one yet. So help us out, Fausto. What are you seeing here today? What are you and your group trading?
There's actually a lot moving. First of all, there's a lot of retails came out. So Foot Locker did really well on the pop at the open. I don't know if you saw that. That one did really well. A little bit on the expensive side, which we're really not a fan of trading. Burlington, BURL did okay. I heard you guys talking about AI. The problem about AI, we trade that stock along, when the stock had the big rally back when it was moving. It's just a very difficult stock. It's got nasty shakes. I mean, you saw that early, went from 28 down to 25, a little bit less out of our play. But like, you got Kava that's doing great. That is a new IPO. I mean,
so let's talk about that real quick, if you don't mind, because 13 and I have gone back and forth on this, and I don't think you were aware. No, you were not present for this. So not yesterday, but the day before, I made a call in our happy hour group. I said, folks, I don't think we're going to see another high print on Kava this year. And it took less than 24 hours to make a liar out of me. This stock is absolutely ballistic. Don't you think this is overpriced and just too high right now?
All right. So listen, to basically defend you a little bit, I was a big fan of Kava, and we were so excited about the stock when it went public. We ended up selling it all around January because we wanted to get into some of the other stock. Listen, it's more of a swing trade, more of a day trade. And, after seeing what happened with Chipotle, which is, they want to be like the next Chipotle. And it wasn't really going anywhere around October, November, and December. And it started going up. And I said, you know what? Sometimes you want to move your money to do something else. And I look at it and I feel like, oh my God, all my traders, like, we screwed that one up big time, after going back to it. There's just too much out there. You know what I mean? But the thing is that you have to understand about Kava, just look at the chart itself. This is where people get themselves in trouble. And this is what we kind of teach you. I've been doing this for 30 years. So this is what you got to look at it. When you see a stock break an all-time low, first thing people try to do is they try to find the bottom. There is no bottom when you break all-time lows. Yep. When you break an all-time high, people are like, oh, it's too late. I'm not going to get into it. You know what I mean? Well, if you look what happened back in August when it broke the resistance of 58, and then you could see it just took off. Actually, it was even a better example, Ryan. If you look at NVIDIA, when NVIDIA broke 500, everybody's like, oh, I can't pay 500. Once it broke 500,
I was one of those.
It went to 1,000.
I was one of those, by the way. I was one of the people that said that. I'm not ashamed to admit it.
Yeah, well, listen, but you know what? You learn from those mistakes. That's because when you see something like that, it's like, even like Costco. It's like Costco's got earnings coming out. It's like, you know what? I screwed that up. I sold it at 500, and I'm like, and I probably spend, I was talking about this morning in my morning meeting, my traders. I'm like, when people go to ShopRite, I go to Costco. When people go to Macy's, I go to Costco. I mean, like, I'm like I blow more money in that place. I max out my rebates. I mean, I'm just a huge fan.
Fausto, I am loving everything that you are throwing down right now. Costco is my favorite store. Everyone in this group knows the love affair that I have going on with Costco. Look, I will admit it. I buy my shirts, my food, and my car batteries at the same place.
Everything, anything and anything.
I mean, it's just between that and Amazon, you don't need any other stores. By the way, one of the things, Costco, I feel like I miss this stock all. You're preaching to the choir this morning, my friend. I feel like I miss this stock all of the time. I forced myself, the last time it sold off one day, I forced myself. I said, you have to buy some today. I said, okay, buy one share. At least you're going to buy one share. The one share that I bought, I'm up over $100 on one share. I mean, it's just, this stock is an absolute monster. I love the store. 100 points.
You made 100 points. You know what? It's like, I feel the same way. And meanwhile, what do I find out doing after I'm done trading? I'm going to Costco. You know what I mean? That's where that's where I end up showing up. It's like my therapy. You know what I mean? Like,
oh God, I love this. I love this right now.
Yeah, but no, listen, there is a lot moving out going on right there. I mean, one of the stocks I want to everyone to be aware of, which is what we've been trading a lot in our trading room, is we've been keeping an eye on a lot in the Bitcoin stocks because Bitcoin's doing great. Not that we trade Bitcoin, but one of the biggest invested interest stocks to have is Hood. Robinhood. That stock has just been doing really well. There is, and you know this, Ryan, and in 13, I talk about this all the time. I follow order flow. And I use level 4 to do it. Right now, there's a 115,000 share seller at 22 on that stock. He came out, program trading came in around 9:30. That seller gets done. I mean, this thing could really pop. I mean, it's all about seeing these big orders. Next biggest orders at like 78,000 at 23. But like that 22 is a very, very big order. And you could see from Hood, I mean, this goes back with GameStop and all that, but they have the second largest position in Bitcoin, next to Monster, I think it is. Another one.
MSTR. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah,
because Tesla reduced theirs, didn't they? Anyway.
Yeah, but there's definitely a lot that's going on that's moving out there in the market.
What about ASTS? Are you trading this at all?
Yeah. Okay, so we trade that stock. ASTS, we're actually surprising. We're shorting it right now. Couple of my traders got the short on. I couldn't short it because my broker didn't give it to me. So that's why if you ever trade and you think about shorting a stock, short out of the money, something ridiculous just to see. And then you could see, because everybody's broker is different. That's like the easiest way to do it than looking it up. But this stock, it came out with good news. They signed some contract with Amazon, with Verizon, I believe it was. But you know what the problem with this? It went up so much. I mean, the stock was $2, a couple of days ago. Yep. I mean, less than like 3 weeks ago. And then it was at 4, the thing's up at 9. I don't like stocks that go way that fast in that short period of time, because then that's when you have a slingshot on the way down. So we passed. This is over. This was done yesterday.
Okay. And a couple of things here. So first of all, the only trade that I see here is a bounce off that round number. We actually had a really good tip about putting your orders in a little bit lower. That worked out perfectly here. Register ring for you, Jay. ASTS, I also agree. I try to avoid things that go absolutely vertical like this. I just think you're adding in another difficulty into the trade, and to something that's already difficult, you're willingly adding another layer into that.
Exactly.
I try to avoid that.
Did you guys trade Lucy, Lucy?
I personally did not. 13, did you?
No, we did take a look at it though. It is on our radar, but I haven't traded it.
Yeah, I personally did not trade this. Neither did 13. Number of our community members traded this. It's having another big day here today.
Yeah, it's kind of, it had a big day the last couple of days. It's just starting to move again today. It's just coming up on my Benzinga too. I'm seeing it, hitting the new. We were talking about this, Ryan, when you had you on. I'm a big fan of the high and low feature on the Benzinga platform, and you could see it's coming up little by little. The only thing I'm not a fan is I don't like to trade stocks under $1, not because I'm prejudiced against dollars. It says you start dealing with tenths of a penny, and it kind of screws things up because it could be like 10 times bigger of a spread. So once it, but it's been holding here, right around this. It's got the big resistance about $1.25. So if something a little bit cheaper, just be very careful. I like the idea that it's been trading, consistently, and it's starting to build what we call a falso flag. Going, for the last 3-4 days, it's hovering at the highs, but it's a little bit more of a gap fill. But that's a cheap little stock that's moving too. It's number 5 on the biggest percentage gainers list, which is pretty good. So that's another one. Wolf's another one that's moving again this morning. WOOF.
Now, let me ask you, we had a member here earlier said that Wolf might be helped out by the Chewy report. What do you think about that?
You know what? Let me look it up right now. Let me just tell you what I see on it. It's when you have a company like that is a predominant of that industry, it will trickle down to other stocks underneath it. Like CGC was moving this morning. The pot stocks are moving. CGC actually moved pretty well. Did it trickle down to all the other ones? Listen, it popped early this morning and then it came back down. So no. So is it really? It could. I mean, usually it's something that we go by, like metals. like metals have been doing great. Gold's been doing great. So but all the silver stocks been moving, SVL, all of them. That's another thing. So yes, it will trickle into other stocks too that will follow along. I know you're checking out Hood. Hood right now is just banged on that 22 order right now. Didn't even make a dent on hitting anybody out at that big order out there right now. So 22 is obviously a big strong number, but it's been pretty strong so far.
And 2196, the day high print there on Hood.
Yeah, I wonder why. You ever know why that is? Never hit 12. You know why?
You mean never hit 22?
Never hit 22.
22. Okay, sorry. I was like 12.
Yeah, I've been 22.
So I gotta think. I'll venture a guess. You tell me if I'm correct here. I gotta think that there are people trying to front run the big order that they see at 22.
Well, first of all, 22 is a psychological, a normal number. Like if you ask
round number, yeah.
If you ask anybody like where you want to sell the stock, or they'll put an order, they'll never sell it order at like 21.98 or 29.85. They'll put at 22. If you look at every option order out there, you'll never see options at 21.98. It'll be 22. So if you look at the orders on that stock, just give you a little trick, on trading. So I'm just looking right here. So if you look at the orders, there's actually technically 118,000 shares going to be sold at 22. If you go out there at 21.99, there's 7,000 shares. So you just cut the line by 120,000 shares if you ever put an order. So remember, if you're selling at the demand, always try to sell a penny or 2 pennies below. And that's what just happened right there.
Okay.
It's a little trick that I was always taught by my mentors. So back in the old days.
And I appreciate you sharing that with us here.
I love sharing it. Listen, I just want all you traders to do a better job when it comes to trading, because you know what? It's a great job. We love doing it, but you got to know how to play the game where it comes down to it.
Absolutely. And it's one of those things where you have to continually learn. You're never going to be done learning. So make sure that you surround yourself with people that can teach you things. That's what that's why I surround myself with 13. He's teaching me things all the time.
And I don't know anything.
I knew that was coming. I was like, what's the one liner that he's going to drop on me?
Traders.
Yeah, we don't really know.
One thing that, this is kind of off topic, but I'm just noticing that the SPY just absolutely shot down right now. And we are going down to the pre-market lows where that gap fill is on the daily chart. I'm not sure what just happened here, but this is a pretty significant rejection of the previous all-time high again.
I agree with you. I don't know what the hell just happened. Just market just took a huge dive.
No, I'm actually looking for that. Actually, as soon as he said that, I'm actually looking for that.
I'm looking at Hood. Hood dropped all the way down to 26.65. You know what's getting crushed right now? I mean, I really don't trade it. CRM.
Yeah, we did. And you know what? So I'm glad that you brought that up, because we actually talked about this yesterday. Let me bring up a daily chart here that's a little bit easier to see. We watched this move happen in real time, and we were trying to think of, this is where's a potential bounce spot. This is moving quite a bit. This is down 20% now here. Right. This is down 55 points here right now. This actually approaching a 208. This is going to be its 500-day moving average here on CRM. This is a big move down. We also took a look at the weekly chart here. 220 was going to be one of those potential bounce spots that we identified here. We blew right through that. 209 coming, it looks like.
Yeah, I was watching CRM. I mean, I don't like to trade expensive stocks. I mean, I like to do it with small cap, because less risk, more reward. But I saw the stock, and in pre-market there was a pretty big buyer at like 220, and then somebody added to that position when when the market opened up, and it started building. We call a Fausta flag on the downside, and it kept testing it, and the guy just got executed. Whoever was out there, that was a big order. I think it was, how many shares was it actually? Let me look at it. It was like
Ryan, what was my level in CRM?
Huh?
220.
Because the 200 weekly, the 20 monthly, and the 50 monthly moving averages are all right there at 220.
At 220. Okay, so I see right here there was a 61,000 share buyer out there, and the only buyers are out there. They usually buy like 600,000, 300. That was a pretty big ass order out there. He got filled, and then it just came down. There was another order at 218. He got filled. I mean, the orders they're trying to buy it. I mean, as a 4,000 share buyer, I had 215. I mean, that guy gets filled. I mean,
Fausto, you're telling me, so we're identifying spots off the chart here for potential support areas. You're telling me there are people with big orders at those levels. Stock continues to move lower here.
Yeah. I
So,
mean, you got it's
something to watch.
Yeah, it's just all those buyers, Ryan, and 13, they're all getting hit. The guy at 215 just got hit. It looks like it's breaking that low. At 250, at 216 as a 34,000 share buyer. I mean, that big buyer at 220 was a very key number right there. So it was a great short, when you look at it. Long term, damn, I mean, it shows here, you're probably looking at your moving average here, but like 200 is a really big support level long term. I mean, it's 15 points away. So it's
and then thesis wise here on CRM, and we can finish up the discussion here on CRM with this thesis wise here. Well, if AI is really proliferating, maybe you need less headcount at businesses, and maybe that means less Salesforce licenses. They're super expensive.
Salesforce is expensive.
That's what I'm saying.
People don't realize it. Like we're right now trying to convert into a new CRM, and we've been doing our shopping around there, and it's so hard. I mean, you guys use a CRM on your end?
Yes, we do.
Yeah. So
we use a couple, actually.
Use Bubble?
We use HubSpot, CRM.
HubSpot's a popular one.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know if the listeners out there listening know what the difference of CRMs, but yeah, I mean, that's really our whole business. It's basically, I kind of tell people if you use Outlook, it's like Outlook on steroids. But it's just what it does, and just to set them up and everything is just a nightmare. And Salesforce capitalized on it a long time ago. They're basically the king of CRMs. But you're right, AI is really going to be replacing a lot of jobs. You know what I mean? A lot of jobs. And I don't know about it's more about the AI replacing it. I think it's more that there's more competition out there against them, and it just. I mean, how much is a user on Salesforce? I think it's like $120, $150.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of what I mean about. So I think you actually have two factors there. That's kind of what I mean about the AI. If there's a reduced headcount, just by nature, there's reduced licenses.
Yeah.
And I mean, you could make the argument maybe they jack up the price to offset that. Maybe bull case on the other side is you don't bet against Benioff. He's an awesome CEO. He has been great track record the whole 9 yards.
If you're not going to bet against him, then maybe take a page out of his book. He sold ahead of these earnings.
Yeah.
So when you have that combined with the biggest loss, or the first loss they've had in 11 years of reporting, I mean, it's kind of like a big stacking of just bad news on top of each other that makes people not want to be in this.
And Fausto, this is what 13 got that directly from Pro. This is one of the things I wanted to show you. First of all, I had another question here I want to clean up. Stock Profit is asking, what tool are you using to see the buying and selling sizes? He's using Bookmap, and I'll let him talk about that here in a little bit. But I did want to show this because this is a really cool tip with Pro. If you use the details tool, you're automatically filtered for one stock. And if you then go to the calendar earnings tab, you get a historical view of all of these different prints. And check this out. The first time that they've missed on either the EPS or the revenue came in this quarter in 2024. The last time, the same quarter back in 2013, 11 years ago. 11 years ago, the last time that they had an earnings report this poor. And then Fausto, the other part of that, we flip over here to the insiders tab. There you go. Mark Benioff, multiple sales right ahead of this earnings report. Red flags, as the kids say.
Well, I agree with everything you're saying. I mean, yeah, I think that's going to affect a lot of companies too, and it makes a lot of sense regarding people going to be losing their jobs. I mean, you heard what Elon Musk said. He said like 90% of people are going to, AI is going to be replaced. I was actually, not to go on a chain here, and I know, I don't have so much time, but like this weekend, I was on my boat watching the air show Memorial Day, and we were like lined up with 6 boats, and my brother is good friends with this big AI guy. And he was invited to come sit with us and, dock up. And we were just talking because I said, I'm a trader, and he wanted to know about trading, and I want to know about the AI. And he told me, he says, listen, he goes, I was on vacation. I was harassed. I didn't want to take this call. They forced me on it. I replaced 150 jobs like that. And it's replacing like HR. It's replacing, replace the managers, project managers. It's going to be a big thing. That's why NVIDIA is doing phenomenal.
Yeah. And we talked earlier about the AI story being more hardware than software. Robert's saying here it'll change jobs, not eliminate them. I think it'll do some of both. But I agree. I think there's going to be so much opportunity for people of all different skill levels when AI is fully deployed.
There's one job you got. There's one job you got. You could always trade.
That's right. That's absolutely. Don't forget that too. Don't forget that. Yeah, that's absolutely right. Fausto, did you want to talk a little bit about Bookmap or anything else before you head on out?
If you want to see more about Bookmap, I'm going to be at 12 o'clock. I'm going to be doing a live demonstration for about an hour. Show you how to use it and everything else on level 3 and level 4, I call it. So there's the link if you want to post it. It's BZ stands for Benzinga. So it's at ctu.co/Benzinga at 12 o'clock. I'll be doing a whole presentation on how to use it and where to find it. I don't like to send people there because like I do presentations at NASDAQ and, we use the book viewer and the last thing you want to do is go out there and use it and then find out you'll end up doing more harm than good. It's like telling someone there's such thing of a car and driving it. And then let me teach you how to drive the car first before you actually do it. Yeah. Because you don't know if it might not be for you, and it's okay. But let's explain it to you. Like Benzinga, everyone's like, I need it. If you guys ain't doing the show and tell them how to use it, it's worthless. You know what I mean?
You're absolutely right. It's both of those tools are garbage in, garbage out, right? You get out of it what you put into it. So if you attempt, if you learn, if you try, if you use it, you'll get value out of it. If you don't, the equation's pretty easy. All right. Fausto, really appreciate it. Any closing comments or anything that you're watching here?
We're getting a big move right now on Serve, but I'll be SERV. It's coming up on your Benzinga as breaking new highs for the day. That one's look like just made second biggest percentage gainers. I would keep an eye on some of the retailers that are going on right now.
Foot Locker, Burlington, you mentioned earlier. Of course, we had Abercrombie recently, which has been gangbusters for a long time.
I can't figure that out. I swear to God, we were talking about it this morning. That stock was $20. $20, and you know what? Who do they appease to? Kids, young kids. I mean, it's not like different genders or different different cultures. They're just little kids. I mean, I still can't figure that stock out.
Yeah,
how is it at that price? I don't understand.
We've been watching it for a while. I've said the same thing. By the way, Lulu here, that round number that we were just talking about, 300. Lulu traded beneath it. Looks like we reclaimed it today here. I'll tell you what, we've had a guy in our happy hour show that was saying this is going to make a great short. This is down 200 points from its highs here. But with retail being hot right now, Lulu performing pretty well here today.
Almost cut in half.
Almost cut in half. That's right, 13.
Okay, Lulu, do you shop there?
I have 3 pairs of pants that are awesome. But I don't go to the store, all online.
Do you still think it's like a $500 stock? That's how I feel like Abercrombie, though.
No.
You know what I mean?
No. Look there. I love activewear. I love stuff like this, dry fit stuff. I get it. I get a lot of mine at Costco, by the way. Shout out. But as far as Lulu, look, their products are awesome. Their pants
I know they got great.
They're great. But to your point, look, Fausto, if the consumer tightens up, how many people are going to be buying $140 yoga pants?
You can buy them for $20 at Costco.
Thank you. That's the answer I was looking for. Thank you very much. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I agree. I think it's overpriced. I like the product, but 500. I mean, my goodness.
It's 300. It's still got a way to go.
Yeah.
I would tell everyone it can still go 300 more points.
That's right.
You know what? It does got big support levels at going back to 2022. So let's see if it holds there. But I still think that's a lot. It's just a lot of money.
Yeah, it sure is.
I just think it's still a lot of money for a stock. There's a lot less expensive stocks you could risk with more reward. That's why I look at it.
Yeah. All right, Fausto, great stuff. Thanks for joining us again. We'll have you back on Thursday. Have a great weekend.
No problem. And, folks, 12 o'clock if you guys want to come and see a little bit more about it.
Yeah, check out his webinar there. Robert saying, I just signed up for Bookmap last night. You sound like an ideal candidate to head on over to Fausto's stream. Fausto, thanks so much. We'll see you again. President, CEO, CTU Trading University. We really appreciate it. Take care of yourself. All right, folks, that is it. Now, I know we were kind of going over quite a bit there. What is moving? I see FFIE getting mentioned here in the chat, just kind of flagging above you app.
Yeah, it's setting up. So as long as that holds VWAP, it has a pretty nice setup. So let's see what happens over the next 15 minutes or so. Just looking around, AI is trying to recover. ONMD is looking like a dog. If this continues to go down, I think 220 is probably going to be where you might find some support. So it's still going down there a bit. SMFL is consolidating around this 570 level. So same as in the pre-market, this was a little bit of a consolidation area, and it's trying to get support and go back up. If it does come back up, I think that you guys were right earlier about the VWAP projection. I'd look for this to trade up to VWAP and then probably get rejected again. So at this point, there's maybe about 80 cents in there, maybe a little bit more that you could capture if you want to try that from here. Bitcoin slightly higher on its way to 69,000. And what else were we looking at today? ASTS still kind of putting in that, I guess it's more of a bear pennant right now, but it still looks like this is going to go down. I guess it's encouraging that it's holding up here, but if it cannot get back above that pre-market low in the 865 area, then this is probably going to end up going lower some more.
ASTS, what we'd really need here is a volume pop to take us above this VWAP, maybe kind of try to break out of it. Maybe we can get back to that 950 handle. Lynn, take care of yourself. Hopefully Randy's feeling all right here today.
Yeah. And, one thing that is coming on after this that I think folks should be paying attention to is AI Unleashed. And I've talked a little bit about this, no pumping whatsoever. Just want some people to take a look at it and pay attention to what they say, what Qualcomm CFO and COO has to say, because I think that's going to be some very important information that they're going to talk about. We have Computex in Taiwan coming up next week. And the fact that we're able to talk to Qualcomm ahead of them is important. So I think we're going to probably hear some things early from them before Qualcomm. Before Computex.
Really, really good mention. Appreciate you getting ahead of that. I went ahead and threw the link there in the chat. The other thing is, speaking of early, we're actually going to have Katie Stockton, who I'm sure you've seen on CNBC a lot. Awesome technician. She's actually going to start by providing some technical analysis to kick that off. So be sure to sign up for that. Check that out. That is going to be awesome. I'm actually going to put that on. So I might be doing a little bit less than I normally do here today as I'm checking that out. But you didn't hear that from me. I didn't say that. I don't know what just happened right there.
I didn't hear you say anything just now.
Thank you. Okay. Couple more things that are going on here. SOBR, looks like this is another penny stock that's been moving up here. We actually, Foot Locker, this is one that Fausto was mentioning here. This actually broke out of its coil right around the VWAP. It started to move higher here on Foot Locker.
So, I've mentioned it before, but I think it bears worth paying attention to what the apparel prices are when you get the CPI, our next CPI report. I noticed in the last one in April that we are starting to see a rise in apparel prices. So I thought, well, maybe that's going to help some of these apparel retailers with their margins. So that's kind of why I've been paying closer attention to some of those really well-established companies. I guess Foot Locker could be one of them. Maybe Nike, Lululemon even was kind of on that list for that reason as well. Look at Sober Go right now. It's actually spiking.
Which one?
Sober.
Oh, SOBR.
Yeah,
that is spiking. Volume telling the story there as it normally does.
Yeah, I guess insider buy is really helping push this up.
M season. Stockton. Her last name literally has stock in it. She was born for technical analysis. Indeed. Really, really sharp, really, really well spoken as well. Okay, and then Elon, thank you for reminding me. I know you were asking me about PSTG just as our guest came on. There was no way I was going to be able to break away from that, but I wasn't ignoring you, I promise. PSTG reported earnings. The initial move was a dip, then they went higher. Interestingly enough, though, it is completely round-tripped this move. So you had asked me earlier if you thought that this was a potential dip buy. One of the things that I told you is I said I liked it a little bit more around 55. You take a look at the daily chart here, you can see that's actually right between two of the moving averages. And that actually goes back to one of these like breakout levels right in here. This was from the April of this year. That's kind of where I was getting that from. But here we go. It looks like if this gets over the VWAP here and we're able to actually kind of trade back up, I think this is actually going to make a fairly decent looking candle on that daily chart. We'll see where we go from here. I traded this one before. I did okay with it. It wasn't anything to write home about. I have no position in it now. But this company, I mean, look at this daily chart. This company has really been performing well over the last several years.
Yeah, the Crow. That I think Sober is really interesting with that, with what they have. But I think they need some kind of government interference in order to push manufacturers to include something like that in their car, or make people who have a drinking problem put that in their car. So I see how this can be a great piece of technology, but I see how there could be a lot of pushback too. One thing I want to point out, a different company, JagX. We talked about this earlier.
Yep.
This one looks like if it gets some volume expansion here, it could break through 5. Keep an eye on this one if we get that volume expansion, because it seems like it's setting up to try to push up through 5, and it's got a bit of a wall there. So we take that out, this could get moving. JAGX.
Indeed, 520, 544 also going to be some points in there if that 5 breakout starts happening. Really quickly, just wanted to ask anybody if they saw this. I saw this making the rounds yesterday on the internet. You had just talked about Sober putting the device in your car for people that have a drinking problem. I saw easily one of the craziest things. I hate to even say this, but this is a dumbass Hall of Fame award. I saw a video floating around the internet yesterday of a guy in Michigan showing up via Zoom to a court hearing for a suspended driver's license. Okay. And when he turned on his camera on the Zoom call, the judge was sitting there and he's like, "Are you stopped?" And he's literally pulling into a parking spot. He's driving his car, pulling into a parking spot, and he goes, "I'm stopped right now. Okay, I'm ready." Like he was doing something good. And the judge looks down and he goes, "Is this a case for a suspended license?" And the defendant attorney's like, "That's correct, Your Honor." And there is just a long pause. And eventually the judge is just like, "No, this guy needs to turn himself into police by 6 o'clock or there's going to be a bench warrant for his arrest." And the guy's like, "Oh, what did your driver's license is suspended and you showed up for your court hearing from a car that you were driving?"
If you've ever shown up to your court hearing
you know what?
in your own car
That's it, like tomorrow. I should have done that today.
Oh man. I mean,
Ryan, I saw that. Right. I mean, look, man, some people make decisions and they're not great. I am no stranger to making bad decisions, but I try to learn from them. Some are just so egregious. It makes me wonder what the thought process was. Moral of this story here: if your license is suspended, don't drive. Especially don't show up to your court proceeding from your car. My goodness. Anyway, I did get a good laugh out of that. I normally don't like laughing at other people's misfortune, but this gentleman created it for himself. Let's face it.
AI looks like it's trying to come back up to 2750. Sorry to kind of switch gears here. Just looking to see if we're getting any recovery in some of these names that we were looking at. Looks like ONMD is setting up to go lower. Not looking great on the recovery. ASTS still sideways, trying to get above VWAP. Yeah, it's kind of a holding pattern.
This holding pattern is the right move. This thing, ASTS at this VWAP, it has been unable to get above that. Just completely unable to get up to that. Okay. Born saying, "Listen, I have some stories if you want to trade stupid. I don't bond driver's license charges because of this reason." Born, look, excuse me. When we finally get our opportunity to hit the golf course together, that is going to be a round to remember for multiple reasons. Can't wait. Okay. Looking around here, looks like Tesla coming in from its high push.
Yeah, let's take a look at the Mag 7, see what's going on. So Tesla and Apple, the winners today. Microsoft really coming in. That Meta and Google and Amazon. Netflix almost flat. Nvidia almost down 1%. So that's why we're seeing some market weakness. Some of those bigger names coming in.
The SPY moved lower from the open here, but it hasn't really broken down from the lows that it set in the pre-market. The other thing here, just taking a look at the volume, 7.9 million versus a 66 million average. I know it's early here, 10:30 in the morning, but volume's still looking pretty low. Volume's still looking pretty low.
Yeah. So just kind of, I mean, there's a mention here from Smoke Tune that Pennylands will be hot for the day as market is coming down. I mean, that's, I think that's true. This all these big names, people, it's like CRM. They're like, oh man, these big companies aren't doing good, not very appetizing. Let's go into these, small, fun ex-girlfriends and play around with those for a little bit longer.
But they're not staying, right? That's one of the things. They're not staying in those, and that's going to be one of the keys because. We're talking about CRM selling off. Where is that going to rotate to, right? Like people that are selling that, where are they going to deploy those funds? I don't know what the answer is, right? Maybe there is some rotation. Maybe there's more cash on the sidelines. I feel like I'm talking to more and more of the bigger investors that I'm talking to keep telling me that they have cash on the sideline waiting to deploy it.
Yeah, I have cash waiting to deploy too, and I think some of those lists that we were getting in the happy hour are pretty attractive when they're oversold that much, and it doesn't make sense for them to be at that valuation. It might be a good pickup. I'm certainly buying into some of this weakness.
Also, one more thing. The other thing I saw on the internet, this one a little bit more business related here. I did see that there is a class action antitrust case being brought against the NFL for the way they do the NFL Sunday Ticket with the exclusive rights to DirecTV and the exclusive rights to YouTube. So if that materializes, any of you that have paid for the Sunday Ticket likely going to get a payment from that when it's all said and done. I just saw that yesterday for the first time. So just figured I'd mention that. I'm not sure how that's going to affect the stocks, but something to keep your eye out for.
Well, unleash Jerry Jones.
CT 2010. Is there any Benzinga promotional link? Thanks a lot. As a matter of fact, there is. Your timing, frankly, really couldn't be too much better because the thing that we're doing is the Memorial Day sale. That's actually still live. Here's the link for it. This is actually, like I said before, this is one of our best sales. We are really kind of reducing the amount of sales, and Memorial Day, one of the top ones here. So really good timing. There's your link. Hope to see it in the community soon. All right, where's AI at? Are we still at 27 on that stock? It looks like it's above 27. Actually, it looks like it's trying to go for that 27.50.
Yeah, it looks like it wants to try to take another stab at that.
Check the Twitter streets and see what Twitter's doing.
Yeah, it's quite a few names just not looking too good. I mean,
yeah,
how ASTS is still going sideways, and I think Smoke Tuna, you're right. It could be setting up for a pop. I think it's just a matter of getting to see that volume expand, and then you'll know that we're going to move up through this VWAP. Got about 20 minutes before we unleash the AI.
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome too.
And technical analysis with our. I'm sorry, I forgot her name that you had mentioned. Stockton.
Katie Stockton. No problem, CT. Robert saying I'm more than 50% in cash waiting for a nice dip. Robert, there are a lot of people in that position. And like I said, the more and more I talk to some of the bigger traders that I know, they are more and more in the same boat. Best Buy appearing on the scanner. They had earnings, if I'm not mistaken. They did. They're going higher here. Ticker BBY.
Yeah, it looks like the SPY is going to give up the pre-market lows, which are about what is this? 523.40. I'm sorry, that's the high. 523.31. So just beneath 523.30 is going to be some new lows since the 15th. So getting pretty close to a breakdown level, it seems.
Seeing a lot of NVIDIA contracts coming across the unusual option scanner, both calls and puts. It looks like you're just kind of reacting to this rather volatile move here. Tesla calls. Tesla's pulling back too off that nice little run.
Where's it rotating into?
How's Lucy doing? Lucy trying to reclaim its VWAP?
Gosh, it looks like all the big names are selling off.
Let's see. How are the memes doing? Look at GME. So GME dipped a little bit and is back positive here, better than some of the other stocks that are going. How's AMC doing? Yeah, AMC
Down.
not getting it done. Yeah,
Nobody goes to the movie theaters anymore.
I mean, I don't.
People still think. I mean, if you do go in movie theaters, count the number of masks that people are wearing. see if the. Well, I mean, I'm serious because I'm not trying to like make any say anything bad. I'm just saying like see how many people still have that fear of being around other large groups of people. And I think
How
that's
are
the reason why.
attendances? How are attendances? Like I don't trust these box numbers that come out. I mean, are there actually butts in seats when you go to the theater?
I haven't been in the theater in a while.
Me either. That's why I'm asking. I literally don't know the answer. Like, if you go into a theater, is there such thing as a sold out show and all that? Like, I don't know.
Here's a great point that
And I don't. And just to be clear, I'm talking about the actual movie. Like, I don't give a. I didn't wear a mask during the thing. Like, I don't care about that at all. It's not even part of my calculus. I'm talking about just going to see a movie at the theater. Like, forget it. Like.
Yeah, and I think that's the whole thing, because the movies that we're talking about that have come out this year, there have been some really good movies. I've actually seen them, not in theater, but I've seen them. And I have to say that Dune 2 was pretty dang good.
Yeah,
I liked the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. Think of what you will. I think I was entertained by it. It was kind of more of a comedic version of Inglourious Bastards, but and then Furiosa that thinking about it just mentioned. I want to see that movie too. I think these are great movies that are coming out. We're just not getting butts and seats.
Yeah. So Fairchild is saying that theaters with new features get butts and seats, like serving food or alcohol. Now, this I can more understand, right? Because that's actually almost more of an experience with the movie tied into it. It's not just going to a theater. Okay. Good stuff. Like I said, I don't know the answer. I don't know the answer.
Look at the just look at the box office numbers, and these are. I mean, the reviews are great. And I'm not talking about critic reviews. I'm talking about regular people that go to see them because they like movies. The reviews are great. The problem is theaters are just not in play anymore. People would rather stream into their own house. I got a 6 setup at my if I'm gonna watch a movie, I got a couch and a TV and a room. I mean, I'd rather do that. The last movie that I went to, you can lay down and eat dinner there and watch the movie. It was nice, but it was not sold out. See, that experience to me is already more appealing. Yeah, I can't even remember what the last movie I saw in the theater was. My goodness. I think for me, it was when I took my sons to go see the Mario Brothers movie. I think that was the last one I saw in the theater.
Okay. Thinking about it, saying I don't like eating in theaters beyond popcorn. I mean, let me tell you something. There's nothing better than popcorn. Maybe a couple of jalapenos on the side. Really, really good. And I hate sitting next to somebody eating a meal. Okay. Okie dokie. All right. God, this really kind of slowed down here. This AI Unleashed webinar really needs to start.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just
it's okay. Don't be sorry. I mean, here's the thing. Like one of the things recently that I've really kind of made an effort on it. Now, I'm not going to force stuff, right? Or whenever I take kind of a high risk or a forced trade, it seems to go poorly. I'm not going to do any of that. I'm going to be as patient as possible. I'm going to be patient so I don't become one. Angry Sushi saying $15 popcorn. No thanks, dude. Preach, bro. Preach. I actually bought a popcorn machine so I can make movie theater popcorn for fractions of a penny at home.
ASTS looks like we're starting to get some movement out of this consolidation. Keep an eye on it. Sorry to kind of jump.
No, you're fine. You're no sorries. You can stuff your sorries in a sack, mister, for all you Seinfeld fans out there. ASTS, I really do want to see this launch away from the VWAP.
Yeah, I just sent you a text about why I don't go to movies anymore. I mean, I have a theater in my house, so it's like, why bother? And I get to pause the movie and go use the restroom whenever I want.
Oh my God, 13. You have a theater. Why would you go to one? You have
exactly.
one.
That's the point. Lots of people are doing that. They're perfectly happy being in their own house with their own setup, with their own. I don't see the appeal in movie theaters anymore, unless you just don't live in a very big house or apartment, or if you just don't have the space. I see the appeal, but other than that, why bother?
Yeah.
S&P actually ended up making. I'm sorry, not S&P, but SPY ended up going lower. And printing new 2-week lows.
Did it finally do that?
Went down to what is this down to? About almost 23 exactly. 523 exactly. So we went down to 523.07.
Nice little orderly move down here on low volume, it seems.
Seems like we're still going lower too on that one. What's going on with the rest of these names that we were looking at? Looks like SFML is still hanging in there. ASTS, still sideways, but it looks like it was starting to get some of that volume. And I see the MACD starting to curl up a bit. So I'm thinking that we might get that move soon. This needs to break out of the consolidation. Not sure which direction yet. ONMD looks like it's bouncing off its 200 EMA on the 5-minute, but I don't think there's enough left in this to keep going. What is everybody else looking at?
Yeah, I'm trying to find something too. I'm basically just rolling through the scanner list here. I mean, I guess we could take a look at this. HLTH, this was a penny stock earlier that was running. Maybe this is curling back up towards that 15-cent level for a potential breakout, but I'll pass on that. FL, this is one of the ones Fausto was talking about. This actually still flagging right along its VWAP. GNS, I feel like this is one that the group liked at some point here. This is a penny stock now, this ramping. I don't know about that. KTRA, this really pulled back from its highs that kind of double topped from yesterday's after-hour session. Just not a whole lot. Cattle, this was mentioned earlier. CADL, this really disappointing. Based off the pre-market pop, really hasn't done anything. Kava, we talked about, that's just kind of holding here at 91, just huge move here in Kava. If we take a look at some of the other stocks that were kind of related to CRM, I guess we could talk about Workday here. This actually is still moving lower. Maybe the selling has been exhausted here in Workday as it's kind of holding in. I'd still give this another day, especially with the bloodbath that CRM has taken here today. Wait for the dust to settle in this one, right? Now would be another one that you could take a look at here. ServiceNow also trading lower off that whole thing. So one more thing real quick, just because I've literally run out of things to take a look at. Let's see where PEP is. Let's see where Pepsi is. Let me show you what we were talking about yesterday in happy hour. Share it with the group here. Pepsi recently really has made a move down here and really kind of sat right at this 100-day. 100 days stacked right on top of the 200-day. Let's see if we can get a couple of closes above these moving averages. It's great to see the selling pressure slow down here. Maybe this RSI will creep down here a little bit more. And maybe we might have actually a swing trade here on Pepsi.
There we go. And I like the whole thesis on Pepsi too. I mean, I think it was one of our gentlemen from Happy Hour was mentioning how Coke is more on the restaurant side and Pepsi is more on the at home side. So if you're not feeling too confident about the restaurant industry right now, then maybe Coke's not the one you want to be in. I own it for long term, but Pepsi.
Dividend
I also
play at Coke there too, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, look, Sober's going. Thanks for the mention, Smoke Tuna. And Elon, I haven't had personally the best experiences with the 4D and 3D, but I understand the appeal. I have watched movies like that, but it's not for me.
Yeah, I never had anything from those either. The putting the glass, it didn't really do anything for me.
I won't knock it though, because it is pretty cool. Yeah, I think the Coke trade, or when to get into it, was back in October when it was much lower into the low 50s. I think maybe even to the high 40s. But I wouldn't get Coke up here. I'm just kind of waiting for that one to do its thing. But Pepsi at this point will probably be the better.
Yeah, Pepsi looks like a pretty enticing chart entry there, or a spot on the chart for entry. I beg your pardon. Jay Rice mentioning that CRM. We've been talking a lot about Salesforce here today as it just gets absolutely taken to the woodshed. CRM here, expected move was 18 points. That's a 3 standard deviation move, which is very rare. Agreed. Did not see CRM doing this here today, but man, this is one of the few stocks. If you bought puts, you had a good day here today. A lot of some of these moves, the premium sellers are the ones that won the day. Not here. Huge move here.
Verb, it looks like it's moving up through some of this or out of this consolidation here, and we get some moving averages crossing to the upside. So I think Verb, if it gets this volume expansion, we could see some bit of fireworks up to maybe 1850. It's a penny play, so it looks like it could go under penny before you find some more resistance. Anyway, some of these other ones that we've been talking about trading they're just going sideways. I guess the market's kind of just stunned to see how badly some of these other big names are having earnings, like CRM. As far as Dell goes, I saw a question there. For me, I would not want to buy it up here.
Yeah,
that's me personally.
Yeah, but this also good time to get into Dell. Jake, this is for entertainment and educational purposes. We cannot advise you on any of your positions. If you need help with actual advice, please consult a financial advisor.
Go all in. Put grandma's money in it as well.
Hey.
I don't even know. Like I'm out here trying to be helpful, trying to be serious, and Zunaid's like, hold my Faloona. I'm coming in here and dropping some shit on these people.
I mean, who doesn't want to go all in on a company that was public, that went private, then said, nah, forget it. I'm back public again.
Well, I guess they ran out of money, huh?
Hey, look at that. Or don't we all? Can we do that? Can we go public? I guess that's when
what
comes into play.
Yeah, who wants to invest in 13.ai? Because I'm going to start a company.
That's actually.
Can I get shares? Can I get shares on?
Sure, everybody can have shares. Yeah, this costs this much, and I need to be paid in cash, and then you'll never see me again.
That's actually 13.ai. Actually, sounds like a pretty cool ticker. I'm not going to lie. It really does.
I appreciate that. Let's hope I can sell some shares.
All right, let us know. Let us know when you.
Christopher, the best time to get to the party is after the police arrive and have arrested everyone. I'm not even sure what you were referencing here, but you're right. All the snacks and liquor are still left over. You got no competition.
They're still yours. Yeah, why not? All right, so here's why I came. I came on for 2 reasons. One,
I thought you were trying to torpedo grandma's 401k.
Hopefully, never mind. Yeah.
Just go.
The reason that I came on is for 2 of them. One is to talk about Hood. I mean, what a great play this has been. I am very happy with it. Matter of fact, let me kind of share my screen here. Where's my trade station? All right, so here's Hood, right? We closed our position, as you can see, on the Robinhood trade that we had. Hood expiring this week, the 1750s. We closed it for $1,300 in gain. Still have $341 left on one contract, so we're up about 385%. We'll see what tomorrow brings us, but of course, we still have our January $20 calls that we purchased for an average price of about $480 or so. But here's Robinhood. I mean, it's starting to go. Hopefully it could break out of this $22 and get moving. I'd love for it to get to about 25 or so. That's kind of like my next, hey, I'm going to take a piece off. But Elon, I'm glad you're in Hood. Hopefully you made some money. Don't know exactly what expiration you got, but Hood's looking great. And I wanted to kind of quickly tease in 7 minutes. Here's what's going down. We have our AI webinar that's going to be kicking off at 11 o'clock. And we're going to start things off with Katie Stockton from Fair Lead Strategies. Basically, we're going to start things off and talk about technical analysis. So I understand a lot of people may not care about the macro and the fundamental aspect of it, but We're going to have Katie on. We're going to talk technical analysis around AI stocks in the market, what may be a good entry point, what may not. She's great. I've had a chance to watch some of her work on CNBC, so that should be a fun time. And then we've also have a pre-recorded conversation that I did yesterday with Paul Chang, who is now the co-CEO of Brand Engagement Network. He was just named co-CEO yesterday. The stock there popped. What is it? BNAI, I think it is.
Mhm.
Yeah, you can see how the stock kind of responded quite well to the news. So if you're looking for another alternative to maybe AI, you want to try to get into something that you think may be a bit laggy, this might be a play for you. But very happy with Hood. Love it so far. We're paying for a lot of butter chicken, no question. Should be fun. I still have yet to take a date out on an Indian food just because of obvious reasons, but maybe one day I'll do that.
What are the obvious reasons? I mean, Indian food is absolutely delicious. I think you could impress a date.
Let me put it this way, and I mean this. I'm not trying to kiss nobody after a date after they've had Indian food.
Okay.
I think
And
that's how
on
you
that
know it's
note,
meant to be.
what'd you say?
I think that's how you know it's meant to be. If you can kiss someone after they've had Indian food, put a ring on it.
Well, I guess that's why I'm ringless, baby. I don't know. But anyway,
Not the way I thought that was going to go. Zunaid, it was great to see you.
always a pleasure. See you at 11. Again, technical analysis. Don't go anywhere. You don't have to touch anything. This stream will redirect you to that stream. I'm telling you, you should stick around for the AI analysis with Katie. It'll be a fun time. Gentlemen, I'll see you later.
Take care.
Take care, Zunaid. Man, he's something else, isn't he?
Oh yeah, he's always great to have around.
He is something else. I'll tell you what. Like I said, did not see that coming there.
Back to the market.
Back to the market, which is probably not doing a whole lot of anything.
And Bitcoin not making it to 69,000, getting rejected a couple of times up here at the 68,800 area. Maybe we get some support and come back up, but for now it's not looking great. The SPY not looking great either. Looks like this wants to continue lower. The next support that I have in the SPY is going to be at 521. So I don't know that we'll get there today. My guess is we're not, but if we do continue down, today and tomorrow, that would be the next support I'd be looking at for the price to stop falling.
Qs actually look a little bit weaker than the SPY here today, which is not the norm. Look at the pullback here in Dell, by the way, 180 to 166. So far, earnings tonight.
Yeah, that's QQQ looking pretty good. Still need that movement in ASTS. It has been just trying to find the volume to get up and through VWAP. It is just constantly rejected. At the same time, it is not breaking down either. So we're just in this sideways pattern until the bears, the bulls, win the fight. And
look at Sober just rip here.
Oh yeah, because we don't want those people on the road.
Sober beasting. Market Sniper thanking Smoke Tuna for the early call there in at 40 cents. Boy, this thing, you're up pretty nicely. You're up pretty nicely.
What else? AI still trying to push back up to 2750. I guess I'd be a little nervous with how a lot of these are just kind of going sideways. Could they knife? Maybe. SMFL certainly did.
BA Elon saying BA has a head and shoulders here.
Inverse head and shoulders. Let's take a look. What time frame are you looking at?
Yeah, what time? That's what I was just going to wonder there myself.
Let's take a look at the daily. I guess on the daily, he is what he could be referring to, with the left shoulder being on March 18th, the head on April 25th, and we're just kind of forming the right shoulder right now. I think that's what he's looking at. But that's on the daily chart.
I literally tried to type in JagX into the platform here and direct message Zunaid instead. It's not what I was trying to do. JagX, though, actually might break above this 5. Watch this one.
So I guess, let's see here. Let me just draw some stuff and I'll get an idea of where we could see Boeing with this inverse head and shoulders go. Looks to me like you're going to probably get a neckline somewhere in the mid 180s. If we break above that, then I'd think that the 500-day SMA is going to be the big level of resistance to get over. But just kind of like draw a neckline on this thing. You kind of get 180s is about the neckline to break for the right shoulder to continue resolving. And then I think maybe once you hit the 500, you'll get the retest of the neckline before it goes higher. So I guess that could be the way this plays out technically. Just kind of watch for these for that to happen.
I have that here. I have that here on screen if you want to take a look at that, but you can very easily chart that yourself. Okay, we are out of time here for today. 13 awesome stuff. AI Unleashed coming up next. 13, great job here today. I didn't mean to remove you. Actually, I meant to remove. No. I meant to do this though. Anyway, folks, AI Unleashed is starting. Thank you all for all your support and your kind words. Stay green, stay safe, stay focused. We will see ya tomorrow. Take care.